Johann Sebastian Bach, born in 1685, is widely regarded as one of the most influential and prolific composers in Western music history. His works range from complex fugues and counterpoint to sacred and secular pieces that have inspired generations of musicians. Bach not only mastered the musical forms of the Baroque period, but also innovated them, creating a legacy that continues to be explored and celebrated to this day. Johann Sebastian Bach, The Learned Musician by Christoph Wolff, is an essential biography that sheds light on Bach's life and work. Wolff, a renowned musicologist with a specialization in Baroque music and Bach, draws on a vast array of historical documents to provide an in-depth look at Bach's creative mind. Many of these documents were previously inaccessible, and Wolff's meticulous research offers fresh perspectives on both the personal and professional circumstances of Bach's life. Christoph Wolff is one of the world's foremost Bach scholars. As a professor emeritus of music at Harvard University, Wolff has dedicated much of his career to studying Bach's life and compositions. His deep knowledge and ability to contextualize Bach's work within the broader historical and cultural movements of his time make this biography a must-read for anyone with a keen interest in classical music. Summary of the book. Wolff begins his biography by detailing Bach's early years in Eisenach, a small town in Thuringia, Germany. Born into a family with a long musical tradition, Bach's musical education was profoundly influenced by his family background. After the premature death of his parents, Bach went to live with his older brother, Johann Christoph, who introduced him to organ music. This chapter traces Bach's early education and exposure to the rich musical traditions of Germany, including both sacred and secular music. The biography follows Bach through his initial positions as a court musician and organist in Arnstadt and Mühlhausen. Wolff highlights how these experiences were crucial in developing Bach's compositional skills and expanding his repertoire. During this period, Bach began experimenting with different styles and musical forms, which culminated in his first significant compositions. Bach's journey to Lübeck to hear the famous organist Dietrich Buxtehude is also discussed, a trip that had a lasting impact on his musical style. During his years in Weimar, Bach started gaining recognition as a talented composer. Wolff describes this period as foundational for the development of Bach's organ works and the solidification of his reputation as one of Germany's leading musicians. While in Weimar, Bach composed many of his famous sacred cantatas and began working on his ecclesiastical concertos. The political and religious tensions of the time, as well as personal conflicts with his employers, are explored, providing insight into the environment in which Bach lived and worked. Wolff addresses Bach's move to Köthen, where he served as Kapellmeister in the court of Prince Leopold. Here, Bach had the opportunity to compose secular music, including the Brandenburg concertos, the cello suites, and the violin sonatas and partitas. Wolff analyzes how Köthen's less restrictive environment, which focused less on religious duties, allowed Bach to explore instrumental forms and develop some of his most important works. Chapter 5. Leipzig and the Liturgical Legacy. Bach's move to Leipzig, where he assumed the prestigious position of Thomaskantor, marked the beginning of one of the most prolific periods of his life. Wolff details Bach's responsibility to compose a cantata for each Sunday of the liturgical year, resulting in a vast corpus of sacred works, including the St. Matthew Passion and the Mass in B minor. Bach's relationships with the city authorities and the challenges he faced in maintaining his responsibilities and the quality of his music are explored, showcasing Bach's commitment to his art despite various adversities. Chapter 6. Later Years and Musical Innovations. In his later years, Bach focused on compositions that reflected his deep introspection and musical innovation, such as the art of fugue and the musical offering. Wolff explains how these works were not only demonstrations of Bach's technical virtuosity, but also represented his philosophical reflections on music and life. The final chapter covers Bach's health challenges and his death in 1750, leaving behind a legacy that would continue to influence future generations of composers. Chapter 7, Bach's Legacy. The final chapter of the book examines the enduring impact of Bach on Western music. Wolff discusses how, after Bach's death, his music fell into relative obscurity until it was rediscovered in the 19th century by composers like Felix Mendelssohn. The influence of Bach on subsequent composers, including Beethoven, Chopin, and Brahms, is explored, showing how his mastery of form, harmony, and counterpoint remains a model for musicians. Wolff also addresses the modern revival of Bach's music and his continued status as a pillar of the classical repertoire. Conclusion: Johann Sebastian Bach, The Learned Musician by Christoph Wolff, is a meticulously researched work that provides a comprehensive portrait of the greatest composers of the time. Wolff combines analysis of Bach's works with his personal, historical, and cultural circumstances that shape his music. Biography not only celebrates Bach's musical journey, but also celebrates humanity, offering a deeper understanding behind the immortal compositions. This work is essential for musicians, music students, and anyone who wishes to understand the enduring legacy of Johann Sebastian Bach.